she was just so excited. And, she was just so tired of Portland and the pollution, and she was just burnt out, and she just wanted to be by the ocean. And she just happened to run into an old friend of hers, Ruth, who happened to have a cottage for rent, and told Maggie that she would be perfect as her tenant. And it was amazing the way everything just fell into place. It was one miracle after another. So I called her Miracle Maggie.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah, I called her Miracle Maggie. And I mean, it was like 3 days before her move date. And I believe it was her last day working for the city, her last day working. And she went to have her lunch in the little park over there by the City of Portland building. There's a park on 3rd and Salmon.
With the fountain.
Yeah, with a fountain. And she would go and sit on a bench and eat her lunch there. And so she sat on the bench to eat her lunch. And this woman approached from her work, and she said, "Do you mind if I sit here and join you?" And Maggie said no. And it was this woman that she would chat with in the elevators, and always thought, boy, I'd like to get to know her better. So it was just one of those people. And so they sat down and chatted, and Maggie told her this was her last day and she was moving to Lincoln City. And she said, "Really?" And she said, "Yeah." And she says, "I still don't have a moving truck, and I still don't know how I'm going to move over there because I've barely started packing." Well, the woman said her business owned, her family owned a moving business. Her family owned a moving business.
Wow.
I mean, this was just a few days before her move. And she said, "And I can come, and I've got, I don't know remember if it was relatives or friends that love to organize. We'll get you organized, we'll get you packed, and we'll get you moved." It
Wow.
was just amazing. It still gives me
That
chills.
was Lolita Allen, and she truly saved the day because Maggie really wasn't packed. And so it was kind of stressful that last day. And oh my gosh, Lolita, I invited her to join us, but I don't have a phone number, just her Facebook. So I'm hoping she'll get to join us. But yeah.
I'm
that
a
would
little
be
I'm a
wonderful.
little late coming in. I'd love to meet everybody. I'm Cindy. I'm Susan's younger sister.
Oh, hi, Cindy.
And I was able to, I kind of knew of Maggie through the years with Susan and had met her a few times. But when I was lucky enough to move down to Rockaway, and of course, Susan was in Bend. So I kind of, Maggie adopted me as her other frister without telling me that. But I just, because I was just an hour and a half away, I could go down and visit her. And she just was so warm and welcoming. And of course, you fall in love with her immediately, and she falls in love with you.
Mhm.
So anyway, I'm Cindy. And who are you?
I'm Gloria, and I'm
Okay.
a long-term friend of Maggie.
Okay.
Let's kind of go around the circle and have everybody just say quickly how you knew Maggie. Just
Okay.
jump right in.
I'm Ted Jarrett. It's my son Michael. We know Maggie through the Terrier Support Group. My sister Celeste and she were good friends.
Nice. Okay.
I'm Bob Clay. I think I was Maggie's last supervisor when she retired.
Hi.
So we've been Facebook friends ever since. Maggie sent me birthday cards, and we've stayed in touch, not nearly as much in touch as I would have liked in person anyway. But so we had a long-term relationship at the city of Portland, went through lots of interesting times.
Bob, I'm so glad you're on because I've got a really, really cool picture of you and
Okay.
Maggie.
Oh.
Give it and bring it.
Hey, keep going, keep going. Introduce yourselves.
I can't reach it.
Hi, I'm Jules
Killian.
and Killian.
Hi, you guys. I've heard
Can
so
you
much
turn-
about you.
Can you turn your phone the other way, Jules?
You want it like this?
Yeah.
That one's so better.
All right. I'll
Cool.
just hold it.
Bring it here.
Yep. I met Maggie when I worked at TT 9 years ago. I met her, and she was just a bright light in the world and always
Bring it here.
made me smile. She was striking around. She's beautiful. And she would always come and make my day wonderful and beautiful. And her laugh, I will always have that sound in my mind when I think about happiness.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I met Maggie at Tiki's through Jules, and she would come through on her tricycle and get chowder and coffee, and we would just have great conversations about life. And
She
code.
loved Tiki's. She just loved Tiki's.
Oh,
And I
Did.
I
She
miss
talked to me about you
Tiki's
guys
so
all the
much.
time. She just loved it.
Yeah.
That was like one of my favorite parts about coming to visit her in Lincoln City was we'd always go to Tiki's, like Tiki's.
Yes.
Hi, Sam.
Oh, that's
Hey,
Yeah. Hi, Dart.
good.
I guess I'll go next with the introduction, but I think a lot of you know who I am. But I'm Samantha, and I'm one of Maggie's grandkids.
You
Yeah.
want the roles?
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm at college right now, so I have my whole dorm room to myself at the moment. So
Wow.
Oh,
So speaking about grandkids, how about the other one?
Yes, with that,
Aaron.
We can hear you.
you can hear me?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm Aaron. Maggie was my grandma. And nice to see all you guys.
yeah.
I heard about you, Aaron.
You, Aaron.
I heard
Yeah.
it too.
I
She was
kind of
very
feel like
proud of
I
you.
know you a little bit, and she said wonderful things about you.
Oh, I don't know what to say about that.
She really was.
Annie,
Yes.
would you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Annie Katz. I met Maggie, probably 27 years ago in Lincoln City.
Nice.
And the way we found each other was I knew a neighbor of hers, and she was looking for Siamese cats at the time. And I had Siamese cats that I needed to find a home for because I was moving to Maui, and they had a 6-month quarantine there. So I couldn't take my pets with me. And Maggie and I fell in love with each other immediately, which I think is normal for Maggie. And she ended up being the second mommy for Chloe and Zoe, the 2 Siamese cats that I loved. And she was a wonderful kitty mommy and a wonderful friend.
Annie, just quickly tell them about the editing.
Pardon?
Tell them about the editing quickly.
Oh, I write novels, and Maggie is, I still think of her as is, my first reader, my best reader. She was very supportive of my work, and she's absolutely the best proofreader I can even imagine. I've never known anybody with her proofreading skills. And I will really miss her on the books that I'm working on now, because she would catch dozens of mistakes that would just fly right by all my other readers, people who were searching for typos, couldn't find them, but Maggie found everyone. She was amazing that way.
I didn't know that part of Maggie. That's really fun to hear.
Well, and actually, I'm not mentioning that in what I'm sharing, so that's why I wanted Annie to share that. Okay, who else wants to introduce themselves, and then we'll begin the service.
Is everybody there?
Devin.
John.
Hi. I'm Ted's niece, and we met Maggie through my mom. They were in, it was like a Yahoo email group. Chantal can correct me if I'm wrong, but for Jack Russell Terrier owners, and the group just got really tight, and a lot of people met in person. And my husband and I moved out here to Oregon, and I got to meet Maggie that way.
Oh, nice. Very nice. She loved her little doggies. Oh my gosh. She adored them. Right here.
So before we actually begin, I will just share the mug I'm using.
Hard to see, hard to
I
see.
know, I'm trying to.
All right, now that's
dog.
good. Okay.
There's a cat and it says
Uh-huh.
friends. This is
Oh.
Maggie's mug. It just seems to be pretty appropriate.
Mhm.
Okay, so what I'd like is for each of you to please mute yourselves. Either that or just be
Got it.
How do I mute myself?
Who said that?
I
Oh,
don't know.
Annie. Okay, Annie.
Oh,
And
here it is.
the-
I found it.
Okay. Okay. I would like to welcome you to Maggie's celebration of life. Later on, you will have another opportunity to share your memories, but for now, well, let's stay muted. I want you to know I am recording this gathering to share with those who couldn't attend this afternoon. My name is Susan Gregory. I am a minister with Community of Christ and a friend of Maggie's for 40 years. Maggie had an active spiritual life, and I will honor that today with an opening prayer. And I'm going to be screen sharing so that you can see some of the pictures I've selected for the service. Let's pray. God of the universe, creator of the tiny hummingbird and the enormous whale, author of thunderstorms and silent snowfall, we gather today to remember the life of Maggie. We thank you that she touched our hearts and lives. We are grateful that her faith was steadfast and helped her through difficult times. We pray that your loving presence will be with us now. Amen. Many of us grew up with the King James Version of the Bible. There have been several new translations, like the New Revised Standard Version, which is the translation I'll be reading from today as I share the 23rd Psalm. I would like to clarify the first verse because it puzzled me when I was young. It reads, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." I thought it meant that I did not want the Lord as my shepherd. Someone explained to me that the use of the word want here means the same as I shall not be in need. That certainly changes the meaning. Let me share this much loved scripture with you now. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord my whole life long. I would like to share some of Maggie's life story. She was born Margaret Carolyn Lukenbiel on May 8, 1936, to Eileen and Claude Lukenbiel in Walnut Grove, California. Maggie's childhood was very difficult, with serious family problems, including the accidental electrocution of her brother Henry, who's on the right in this photo. He was 11 when that happened. That tragedy and surviving the family's other challenges bonded Maggie and her brother Bob as best friends for life. In their early 20s, they would go to taverns and swing dance. They were a great team, and often the floor would clear to give them room. Her happiest high school years were at Mount Angels Academy because she felt supported by the nuns, and they wore uniforms. At public school, she had been singled out and bullied because of her clothing. After graduating from high school, Maggie joined the Navy and gained some self-confidence. I have to confess that as I share these photos, I don't know if they're in correct chronological order, but I tried. Unfortunately, while in the Navy, her boyfriend started stalking her, and she ended up getting a medical discharge. She moved to Heppner, working in the hospital as a nurse's aide. She really enjoyed working with the elderly. Maggie's first child was a boy who tragically died at birth. Maggie's first daughter, Robin, was born in 1961, followed by her sister, Patty, not quite a year later. Maggie didn't want someone else to raise her children, so she went on welfare and really struggled to make ends meet. Years later, she was able to get training and started work as a file clerk trainee in the welfare office, where she was promoted several times. Maggie was a go-getter and a hard worker, but she never felt her own worth. Maggie started working for the city of Portland in the 70s. I met her when we both worked for the Park Bureau, and we've been friends ever since. Maggie was quite the walker, finishing the Portland Marathon 5 times. She was also active in Volkswalking for years. She started riding bikes in the 90s and often rode her bike to work. Maggie never drove a car, never. She either walked, took public transit, or rode her bike. On one of her bike adventures, she rode from Portland to Multnomah Falls and Crown Point. At the age of 57, Maggie biked the Seattle to Portland ride, 206 miles in 2 days. She described herself as a wannabe athlete, but looking at her many accomplishments, I would call her an athlete. Maggie retired in 1995 from the Portland Bureau of Planning and moved immediately to Lincoln City. She loved living at the beach in her Gladstone cottage, and thanks to her wonderful landlords, Ruth and Russ and Ruth, lived there for 25 years. Maggie became known as the Bike Lady, riding her bicycle and later her trike, exploring all over the county. She made friends everywhere she went, sharing much laughter. Her warm heart and infectious laugh endeared her to many. Maggie really enjoyed capturing nature with her camera and had a couple of photos published in the newspaper. All the nature photos I'm sharing today were pictures she took. Maggie's first dog, Skeeter, was a Jack Russell Terrier, and Maggie was a welcome presence in the Holy Terriers online group. Holy or Holy. Her second dog, Breezy, rode in the basket of her trike. In 2018, I started writing down bits and pieces she shared about her life. She said she was grateful for the special people in her life who became like family. She mentioned Karen, who calls her Maggie Mom, and Rich and Judy, who treated her like family. There were too many others to personally name, but she liked Kid that it took a village to take care of her. I'll share her own words. I am especially grateful for my home here. I celebrate being blessed with living at the coast, my bike and trike rides, enjoying nature all around me, and hope I will live at Gladstone Cottage until it's time to make that transition. I have no doubt that God loves me and sees to it that I have everything I need and then some. I know I am famous for my laugh. In September of 2020, when wildfires threatened the Lincoln City area, Rich drove Maggie to our home in Bend for what was supposed to be a temporary visit. Unfortunately, she had just been released from the Lincoln City Hospital and needed to go to the hospital just 2 days after she arrived in Bend. Maggie was hospitalized for 2 weeks. She went from there to a care center for physical therapy and rehab, but had to go back to the hospital. With each additional hospital visit, her health slowly deteriorated. She told me several times that she was ready to die, and she felt the presence of her mom, brother Bob, and daughter Robin, all who preceded her in death. As a testimony to her personality, she always seemed to be the nurse's favorite at the hospital, the care center, and then at the adult foster home. Shortly after moving there, she decided that Angel's Rest, the name of the foster home, was where she wanted to let nature take her course. She died peacefully on Saturday, March 13th, but will live on in our memories. Maggie leaves behind her precious grandchildren, daughter Patty, and many friends, especially Rich Larrick, who was so very helpful to her for years. I have a few more photos to share, and then it will be your opportunity to share your memories. I love that in particular. Okay. So now is the time, if you would like, we already kind of started doing that, but if you would like to share your memories of Maggie, what I need you to do is unmute yourself and share, and then mute yourself again. You can
My
even
name is
comment on the
Barbara.
photos. Okay, go ahead, Barbara.
I am a member of Holy Terriers. That's how I met Maggie. And it was quite a group. We all became very close. Many of us are still friends, even though the group is not active. But when the group like somebody lost a pup, or I was always the one to call Maggie so she didn't read it because I knew that she would be upset. We talked a lot, and I remember when Devin was young, and I remember when Sam was just a tiny thing, and Breezy, and really all of Chantal. Who else do I remember? Aaron, she mentioned Aaron, her late brother. We kind of all went through that together. Even though at the time, we really had never met face to face, any of us. So my memories are fond. In fact, I actually, my heart skipped a beat when I got a message from Maggie Hamlin. I thought, oh my God, what have I done? She's after me. She's after me. So I thank you for that. And it was a pleasure seeing everyone. And I'm going to stick around and listen.
So Barbara, where do you live?
I live in New Jersey.
Okay. And it's kind of funny because I think the Holy Terriers was actually Holy Terrors at times.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was called both. And a lot of other things too, because we had really, we had some demon dogs in that group.
Well, and the other thing I want to just mention, because I remember this clearly, is that Holy Terriers paid for Maggie to go to Celeste's memorial service as a representative. And I thought that was so very special. So yeah.
She was very well loved. and deservedly so.
Thank you for sharing, Barbara.
Mhm.
Hi, I'm Chantel, and I'm too am from Holy Terriers. And I had a good terrier at that time. I have a Holy Terrier now. But after I left Holy Terriers, when my dog was gone, Maggie reached out to me, and we became friends. That not just from the group, but with each other. And we never met, but we were friends for, I don't know, I can't do math. I think it was over 25 years, and it was pretty amazing. We stayed in touch the whole time pretty well, till the very end when she couldn't anymore. And what a great friend. And basically I was doing a lot of things like that she used to do, the biking, the horseback riding. But I kept finding things out about her that really surprised me, even though we talked a lot. Like today, I was really surprised. I never knew she was in the Navy. That was a complete shock to me. I was like, wow. So what a great, rich life she led, considering the start that she had. She was never angry. She was always happy, and she was always helpful. It's just hard to explain. And it was, even though a couple of times I thought I would be able to go meet her, it just never worked out, right? I just couldn't get out there. So I live in Canada, so that's part of it. Yeah, it's a waste.
You sound Canadian. I love that.
Do I? I live on the coast though, so we have the same weather and the same time and that kind of thing. And we were surprised sometimes how similar things would be, right? Except that they didn't get snow. We'd get snow. So yeah, I just can't say enough about the kind of person, and all the people here, a lot of the people here I've talked to, but I've not met anybody. So one of these days, maybe after COVID, I will be able to get out and travel and start saying hello. And I remember Devin when she was before Nate. It's a long time ago. And Sam was like just learning to walk. So you guys have done good. But yeah, I just thought that was so, and Celeste too, it was all part of the same group. So, and yeah, it's pretty amazing. There's a lot of people here, I'm sure, that aren't here today because they probably don't have the technology at this point, which is unfortunate for them and for us. And I wish them all, I don't know how to say it, but good memories of Maggie. And that laugh, oh my God, that laugh.
Well, I am recording it, so I'll be able to upload it to YouTube, and then people who want to can access it. So
yeah. And we'll never forget that laugh. I remember the first time I phoned her, I'd never heard her voice before. And it's like here today, or the first time Devin put something on her Facebook page with her voice. And I thought, everybody sounds so different than what you think they're going to sound like in your mind. And that was like that with the first time I spoke to Maggie. When she started laughing, I went, whoa. It was awesome. Anyways, I'll let others go next.
So I'm just going to throw something out. I do have a short video of Maggie telling a story that I thought I'd share after everybody finished their share.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share something?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, Grandma Maggie, none of the stories I've heard so far surprised me at all. I only met Grandma a couple times when I was really little. And then when my parents divorced and we had to go to Lincoln City, she took my mom and us 3 kids into her little cottage to stay with her for a little while. And anyone who's been to her place knows that not a whole lot of room there. But she was so delighted and happy to have us there. And she was actually, it was around the holidays, I believe. It's been a while, but she was actually responsible for our first real Christmas. And because of how we grew up, we never got to have Christmas as children. So that was a very special time period, even though it was really hectic, and how all that stuff kind of goes when people get divorced and all that. And it's one of my biggest memories from that time period was having my first Christmas at grandma's house. And I actually still have she reached out to her friends and made sure that we all got presents because there wasn't a lot of money to go around. And I actually still have the Christmas gift that I got. I've kept it all these years. It's actually on a shelf over here. And I could talk for days on all the stories I have with grandma. She's taken me on my first bike ride, my first real bike ride. That was more than just going down to the Circle K and grabbing a soda or something. And yeah, she was just a real big influence on a lot of things I've done in my life and still continue to do. And that'll never go away. So I think I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you, Erin.
I'm LaDonna, and I worked with Marge at the Planning Bureau before she kind of, I think, remade herself into Maggie when she moved to the beach. So I worked with her for several years at the Planning Bureau, and I when she decided she was going to retire, it was like, wow, that, and moved to Lincoln City. So I was one of the ones that also helped with moving day, because that was needed to be arranged yet. It was done pretty quickly to get her on the road and off to Lincoln City. So just wonderful to work with. Just a delight. And I'm so glad that she made the transition very nicely to Lincoln City and had a wonderful, 25, 26 years there, something like that. So.
I was just going to say, I think it's really cool to see all of kind of the different pieces come together, because I think we've probably all heard about each other in one way or another. And so to kind of have everybody here, and it's always cool to hear those different bits and pieces about people's lives and put faces to some of you.
Kathy Miller, welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm just overwhelmed, and just a great celebration of Maggie's life. And I've always started my day on Facebook, checking in to make sure Maggie was online and what inspirational she had to share with me every day. She started with emails, and I can't think of the gentleman's name off the bat, but that was kind of a signal how to start the day and the inspiration. And I met Maggie right at a very dark time, and she asked me to take her picture at the Gleneen Beach Wayside. And I, in fact, you showed the picture that I took of her. It has the sign, yes, stay off the cliffs there. So that warmed my heart. I took her picture, and pelicans happened to be flying by, and I shared a picture with her of one I had taken down at Depot Bay. And that was the beginning of our friendship. And I know of all of you. I can think of stories that she's shared with me, and I've watched on Facebook. And Erin, you were a ray of sunshine. And little Samantha, I got to make you the cutest little pumpkin cake for one of your birthdays. Anyway, yeah, and the Siamese cats, I helped her with some memorials on the cats. And Annie Cat, I read one of your books that she had edited. And what else? Oh, and Tiki. Yes. Anyway, she would ride her bike to Glen Eden Beach, and she just engaged in the neighborhood here. She would go to the post office and send off birthday gifts and Christmas gifts, and she would do calendars for her family every year. And she would have everybody's birthday on there. That was a big deal. We would go and shop for calendars for each one in the family. And she'd spend the month of December, you know, marking everybody's birthday and then getting them off in the mail to you. What else? Oh, I saw pictures, one of her favorite restaurants. I saw you guys were at Spanish Head there, at Fathoms, best view of the beach. So if you ever go to Fathoms, you can think of Maggie taking delight. We would go on Valentine's Day, where we'd be each other's Valentine. And one of the special trips into Portland was to see Celeste. And I got to meet her then. And Devin, just really precious, precious memories. And she shared some really awesome music with both Maggie and I, and really appreciated that. And yes, and Chantel and the Holy Terrors. Yes, that dog was a terror. Anyway. Fond memories. Breezy was such a delight. And then her cats, her and her cats, they were just very, very special. So she always looked on the bright side, and she loved to play train, Mexican train. And we spent some Christmases and Thanksgivings, and she just brightened my world. And she introduced me to Susan, and we had so much similarities in our boys and their directions in life at the time. And anyway, she's just been a blessing to all of us. And God bless you, and peace to all of you as we all miss her dearly. Anyway. Thank you so much, Susan, for putting this together.
Thank you for sharing, Kathy. That's lovely. All right, Kat, I'm going to put you on the spot. You have to explain how you know Maggie, though. Looks like Alana's going to unmute you.
Okay. I mentioned we met at the Gleneen Beach State Park. I was on a walk and she was on a bike ride. And she asked me to take her picture.
Oh, sorry, I was talking to Pat.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you asked.
You said Kathy, Susan. I thought you did.
Yes.
Pat Grenier, would you explain how you know Maggie, please?
No, how I know Sam?
Maggie.
I have the pleasure and blessing of being Sam's mom. And for Maggie's 80th birthday, then Susan and Maggie came out to meet my husband and I and the other children we have in our home. And we had a delightful time. We took her out to eat seafood, and she really liked the fish. And her laughter, another lady said something about her laughter. Her laughter was so catching and just so, you couldn't help but laugh along with her. And precious lady, we talked on the phone a lot, and she's surely going to be missed.
I think I'll go ahead and share the video now.
M. Press the M.
I'm here with Maggie at the hospital in Lincoln City. She has been demoted from ICU. She's now in the common room.
Okay.
With everybody else. And I've asked her to tell the story. She had quite an adventure with a bird.
We had a lot of birds on my street when I lived on Northeast Cooch. And a lot of finches. and they loved the cherry trees up and down, or plum trees, whatever they were, that bloom so beautifully and look so gorgeous in the spring. And I went outside, and much to my shock and horror, here was one of those darling little birds that had gotten caught on some yarn from a scratching post I had out there for my cats. And it was hanging there and struggling, and its mate was hovering and trying to help it, and would fly and hit the string, just desperately trying to free his mate.
So the bird was actually hanging from a utility
power line.
line. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, and so this went on. I was hysterical. I knew if that bird died, I would have to move. I wouldn't be able to stand living there. I mean, I was just like, oh. And I called, and nobody would come and help. You can't get a fireman to come with the ladders to rescue a poor little finch in trouble. So I was just desperate. And
Just telling a story.
then what happens, along comes a crow who likes to eat these smaller birds, and he was going to go after this bird, and I ran out there in my bare feet, and it's very early in the morning, like 6 o'clock or so, and I ran out there just yelling, get away, and flapping my hands, and the crow flew away a little ways. The finch was so horrified about the crow and me yelling, it gave one last jerk and it came free. And it just sort of sloped downward to the tree across the street. That was a small tree, and was sitting there recovering, and I'll be darned if that crow didn't come after it. So I ran out again. I've been waking up the whole neighborhood. So the last I saw Mr. and Mrs. Finch, they had flown into the cherry trees that were in full bloom, and they could hide very well in there. And that was the last of that. And the cat post was no longer on the patio. I was so grateful she didn't die.
So the extras are in the utility.
Okay. Sister, we can hear you. But isn't that, she told me that story years and years ago, and I wanted her to write it down, but at least we got a live version of it.
Corner of the counter in the far corner. What?
We can hear you, Cindy.
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. So I don't have a bird story or anything, but I just want to say also how much Maggie's Facebook posts always meant to me, because they were always so positive. Even when she was having the toughest time and she was in a lot of pain, she always posted beautiful Facebook messages that helped everybody who saw them. And I also want to say how absolutely blessed I was to be able to spend time with Samantha when she was young. Susan's relationship with her was beautiful, and when Susan moved to Bend, I got to kind of take over some of the fun parts to be with Sam. So it was wonderful to see her a couple of years ago at Christmas. We got to spend some time with Maggie and went to the wall where Sam's mom's memorial brick was and everything. And that was so special to Maggie and Sam. And I'm just very glad to have been part of Maggie's life and to have known her. She was a wonderful person. I'm done.
Thank you, Cindy. I think pretty much everyone has shared. I don't really have a good way to end this, except that she was a pretty cool woman. And I'm very, very, very glad that I got to be her friend, and she meant a lot to all of us. And what I love is, you know, Devin, like your mom kind of lives on because we're talking about her now because of Maggie. And in that way, Maggie will live on. We all live on in memories of others. And what's really special is Maggie created a lot of memories for all of us. So with that, I think we'll say goodbye and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
I put in
Susan.
the chat. We did start a GoFundMe for to put a bench in Maggie's memory in Depot Bay. There was no more spots on the memorial wall, but we're about halfway there for a bench. So I put the link in there. I can also put my email in there in case anybody
Perfect. I very much want to be part of that, so I better get myself in gear, huh?
Yeah, the link is there, or you can copy down. If you look in the chat, you can copy down my email, and if you just email me, I can send you the info.
All right.
But
Thanks.
yeah, we're getting there.
Okay.
That would be just really fabulous
Everybody.
to Maggie. So
Yeah, I know. Okay. It was very nice to meet everybody.
Same here.
Yes, very nice to hear you all too.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
nice to see everybody, especially like there's a lot of you that obviously I have met and there's a lot of you that I haven't met. But for those of you that I have met, it was really great to see you guys again. And for those of you I haven't met, it was really nice to meet you guys for the first time. So
I miss you, Sam. I love you.
You too,
same
Sam.
here
Nice to meet
too.
you.
And Erin, it was fun. It was really nice to finally be able to put a face to the name because I've heard so much about you and I've talked to you like a little bit, but
Yeah, well, yeah. Small
we'll
world.
keep in touch.
All right.
And Annie, I've read your books too because of Maggie.
So have I, Annie. Loved your books.
Yeah, me too.
Bob, I'm really
Thank you, everybody.
I'm really glad you joined us, Bob.
Bye, Sam.
Bye.
Oh boy, beautiful. I think Maggie's smiling on us, if there is such a thing as that. I can imagine it at least. So
Absolutely. It's interesting that we never met before.
yeah. Well, until the pandemic, Zoom wasn't a thing.
You've got a point there. That's true. That's
So I
true.
will just share one thing for me, and I don't want to end on a sad note, but what was hard for me is, number one, I've been trying to get Maggie to move to Bend for about 2 years and move to assisted living so that I could be close and do things with her. And she's very stubborn, and she absolutely refused. And then when she came, of course, we didn't realize that she would be here. It took a while before us to realize that health-wise she wouldn't be able to go back home. But I had envisioned having her over for holidays and stuff, and she didn't, except for the first 2 days when she was here. And I'm so glad, Erin, it worked out for you to come visit her then, because after that she couldn't come back. And the only time I got to see her, I went to all her doctor appointments with her, and that's the only time I got to see her. That's what I'll do. I'm going to end on a happy note. So the fun thing we did was she had an appointment at Costco to get her hearing tested. Now, Costco has a lot more opportunities than like doctors' offices and stuff. And because we take the wheelchair van, you never know exactly what time you'll get there. And we got there like 40 minutes early, and we were prepared. Maggie had wanted a haircut for 3 months, even though I told her she looked really cute with longer hair.
She couldn't stand long hair.
Oh my God. So I took a towel and my good scissors, and we went into the ladies' room. And we got her, popped her in front of the mirror, put the towel around her. I have never, ever cut hair in my life, ever.
A brave lady.
That's how desperate she was.
Yeah.
And I started cutting her hair. And oh my gosh, it was so fun. There must have been at least 9 or 10 ladies that came in, and some of them smiled. Some of them said, "Oh, we can relate." And a couple of them just looked at us funny. And a couple of employees came in. I was a little worried they might like kick us out or something, but I got her hair all cut, and we went for her hearing aid appointment, and the gal that was checking us in was one of the ones that had come in the ladies' room. And she said, "I love your hair." Yeah. And of course, Maggie laughed. So that's a memory I'll cherish forever. I wish somehow we could have videoed that. So yeah.
Yeah, I bet you she felt so much better for it.
She
too.
did. And actually, honestly, it's kind of funny. She actually looked better. I kind of liked her with long hair, but she did look better with the
She
short.
couldn't stand it. Yeah.
Yeah, she told me you did a great job.
Yeah.
Loved that adventure. That was so much fun for her.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Oh.
A dog.
So
So
what
here,
kind of dog?
here's my terrier. I didn't know that Maggie was part of the Holy Terrier group, so now I can join. This is a Holy
What kind of terrier is that?
Sammy. Well, she's half terrier.
And half?
I think Norwich Terrier.
Uh-uh.
And half miniature poodle. See this up here, and a little bit of Chihuahua. Yeah. Ah.
Oh.
This is Dexter. He's a miniature poodle.
Ah.
I have another one, but he's.
Let me meet your cousin.
See way over on the bed there? Whoops, I disconnected.
I would hold up my Australian Shepherd, but he's at home.
He's kind of big to pick up too.
I could probably do it.
You probably.
I was trying to
All
show
right.
you Henry. He's against the pillow there. Do you see him?
Almost.
He'll in exactly, well, not exactly, today's the 4th, but on the 2nd of May, he's going to be 15 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, and he can still walk 10 kilometers a day. I haven't been able to since, well, for the past month because I had surgery. So we're doing 2 kilometers a day, lots of sniffing.
But can he jump?
He can jump on and off the bed, but he can't see very well. So at home, he knows where the floor is, no problem. But getting out of the car is out of the car, especially stuff, because he never knows where the ground's going to be.
Oh.
I had been lifting him down, letting him slide down my body, but I can't do that since the surgery. I won't be able to do it for another month. So we've got a system now. He comes through the car onto the passenger seat in the front, and then he's really close to the ground. So and I put my foot up to his nose and then put it down, and he follows it.
Oh, bless his heart.
With his nose. Yeah, and he's not hurting himself at least. But yeah, he would come and say, "Now that sweet little guy there, he's the terror." The one I had in Holy Terriers, he was an angel.
I don't know how well you guys can see that, but
You can
that's
see that really good.
That's my dog Buster. I actually took that photo. Fun fact. That's one of the hobbies I actually shared with my grandma, was a love for photography. When she and Susan came out to see us here in New Hampshire, we went on a hike and she couldn't go, but she let me take her camera, and it was just so exciting because I actually had one of her previous cameras, but then she upgraded to the camera she had when she came to visit. So then I was like, ooh, I get to use a camera that's like better than the one I have now. I did end up eventually upgrading to my own camera that's nicer, but it was really cool. And I loved that I got to share that hobby with her.
And what I loved was I took a picture of you, Sam, lying on the rocks, taking a picture of the creek. You were really into it.
When we went to the beach, she and I took pictures of each other, taking pictures of each other.
Oh, that's fun, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
She enjoyed your last visit so much.
Oh,
that Christmas, I think it was Christmas, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Christmas.
Yeah.
That was actually a really fun trip. It was exciting. I got to fly by myself for the first time.
Cool. Now nobody flies.
Yeah, no.
You're only like 17, right? Or
I think I was either 16 or 17. I was a junior in high school, so I was 17. Yeah.
I thought that was so cool because Sam left her own family in New Hampshire to fly and have Christmas with Maggie. And they waited. They held Christmas till she came back.
Oh.
No, they didn't. We did Christmas before I left.
Before, never mind, before. But they worked around her schedule.
Yeah, because I left like not that long. I didn't leave that early before Christmas. I left just a couple days early, and then I came back on New Year's Eve, I think. But That was a really fun trip.
Yeah, she had the best time ever.
We ordered Chinese. I remember we ordered Chinese takeout from a restaurant in town that she really liked. And we ordered more food than either of us could have eaten. And I think we ate leftovers for like 3 days. But it was worth it.
You get to taste everything that way eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
So just for general info, on April 20th, I'm going to be in Lincoln City, and we are going to scatter Maggie's ashes in Schooner Creek, which is right across the street from her Gladstone cottage, and that was what she asked for. And what's kind of neat is the people who are able to attend, Maggie is paying for us to all go to lunch at Galucci's Pizza,
Aw,
which is another place she really likes. So, yeah.
that was Skeeter Creek, wasn't it?
Yes, yes. Skeeter Schooner. Yep, it was. Yeah.
I wish it would work out that I would be able to be there, but obviously I can't.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do a video.
Maybe. It would depend. Yeah, it would be a little hard to do that, but I'll be there in spirit.
Mhm.
I'll take pictures. I'll do a video. I'll take some.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay, that works.
All right. Well,
Susan, I'm going to say, hang up, but I just want you to know how much you're a blessing to Maggie
Oh,
and
yeah.
how much it means to have you set this up for all of us. It's really, really special. Thank you so much.
Bobby, you're so welcome. And as I said on the picture, you were her favorite boss. You had a good connection, and that's yeah. And I love how you stayed in touch after all these years. So that's pretty wonderful.
I was a beneficiary of all those birthday cards, all those trips to the post office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Thank you, Susan. It was wonderful what you did for all of us. Thank you.
You're welcome. Annie, one of the books that I read that you gave Maggie, you had a tribute in the front saying about what a fabulous proofreader she was and stuff. It was just so sweet to be able to read that and, yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking care of Maggie for so long. You did such a great job. She never had to worry. You were always there for her. That's huge.
Honestly, I wonder if there are people who are in that situation that don't have support.
Yep.
And frankly, it's terrifying. I'll tell you honestly, I think of myself as being fairly astute. But some of the paperwork and oh my goodness, an older person on their own, they can't wade through that. They just can't.
Especially if they're not healthy, they can't think straight.
Yeah. So if any of you ever have an opportunity to help somebody, jump in.
Very true.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to say goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
It's been lovely. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining.
Nice meeting you guys.
Yes.
Same here.
Been hearing your names for years. It's so awesome.
Bye.